edition, live edition of the Sewing Report, we are talking fabric, how to buy it, what my thought process is, how you learn about different substrates. We're going to be talking about this all. So if you are joining me, I've got a real computer this week, so I'm going to be moderating the comments and looking for your questions. Give me 1 second. I'm actually just going to share this live stream out with a few people. So hopefully we can get some folks joining us in here. If you are joining us today, let me know where you're watching from and give me a shout, because I'd love to hear from you. And again, I'm going to be trying to do these live shows about every week just to talk about various things affecting the sewing community. So this was actually a suggested live chat by someone who wanted to know more about how to buy fabric, where I get it, and also the benefits of shopping online versus shopping in physical stores. So we're going to go over all of that today, and we're gonna be doing some chatting. So let's get ready. And again, if you are watching, let me know where you're watching from. I would love to see where you're coming from. And we're just gonna, again, we're upgrading the technology this week so I can actually see all the comments over here. Also, hopefully that camera is a little bit better quality. So that is what we'll be doing. But feel free to let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from, and if you have any questions, we'll definitely be answering those. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and share this link with a few folks so that they know where to go. But obviously I've got lots of fabric in front of me, and we're going to be talking about that in this live stream. So hopefully this will be fun for you. I love fabric. I've been able to amass a little bit of a stash over the last few years, and it's a lot of fun to shop for fabric, and I actually spend a lot of time doing it. Believe it or not, I do. It's a big task, but somebody's got to do it, right? So obviously I've got several different types of fabric, and I'm going to go over some of my favorite places to shop for fabric, and someone said, it's better to shop for fabric in stores because you can see and feel and touch it. To some point, I disagree with that. Once I get to know what kind of fabric I'm looking for, I feel like I can comfortably shop online for it and be confident in my decision-making purchase. And I would say out of all of the fabric I bought online, I've maybe been unhappy with 5%, so not a big percentage. And if I'm getting a great deal on it, I'm going to be a lot more lenient on what I'm getting, because I do shop around a lot, and price is a very big factor when I am looking for fabric. I don't know about you, but we all like to get good deals. So I'm going to be sharing with you where I like to shop for fabric. All right, we are live. And I like these live settings because, I can talk to you guys in real time, and, we can have more of a conversation. So this is a lot of fun for me. And James, if you're wondering, he's doing okay. He is still recovering from the lingerie sewing video. So he hasn't been making any more underwear, but I do think he enjoyed it as well. Using the serger, I think, was a little frustrating for him, but don't worry, he's okay. He's okay. We are live on YouTube. Okay. So yeah, we are slowly moving into the 21st century here. So yeah, so that's what's happening. And I'm going to be looking at your comments over here. Okay, Green Tree 202 says a lot of online places will send you swatches as well. That is a great point, actually. Some of them, they charge like $1 or so for a swatch, and then you can really see what you're getting. I've actually done that before with fabric.com, and I would say paying $1 to get a swatch is worth it, just so you know what you're getting before you buy a whole lot of it. So I think that's great. So let's start off with, I want to address one thing, and that is for people who don't sew or are unfamiliar with buying fabric, I think there's this big misconception that it all comes from Joann Fabrics or like Walmart or Hobby Lobby, which is, as we know, not at all the case. There are so many outlets and resources for buying fabric that I think the average person who doesn't know anything about it has no clue these places exist. And I feel like when I started sewing, I kept finding new outlets and new sources for buying fabric, which was one of the most interesting things about it, to be honest with you. I did not realize that there are designer fabrics just like there are designers for clothing. Like there's Calvin Klein, Donna Karan, Michael Kors, and in fabric we've got, me and you fabric, we've got cotton and steel, we've got, and I'm actually going to be showing you this today. I have never bought Tula pink fabric before, but when I saw she came out with some cat prints, this is what made me pull the trigger. I admire her design work, but some of it just, it wasn't really my style. But cats, I'm a big cat lady, crazy cat lady, so these are definitely very me. So I am happy to report that this is my first purchase of Tula Pink's Tabby Road fabric. Oh, and you know what? After this is over, I forgot, I'll link some of these fabrics below in the description box after this is over. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to be bringing over here. But yeah, so I've got quite a few fabrics, and I want to talk about how I learned about the different kinds of fabrics and also, where I usually pick things up from. So yeah, I think that for people new to sewing or who don't know anything about it, they honestly don't know anything about, and also I'll get people asking like, will you make me a t-shirt quilt? Or they're saying that they want their first project to be a t-shirt quilt, and I'm like, do not do that. You're gonna hate yourself, because knit fabrics, and people don't know anything about the different types of fabrics. So people will ask you to like take old baby clothes and try to make a quilt out of it. They don't know the difference between high quality and low quality fabrics, and also that certain types of fabric really don't work well together. So I think that's one of the things that was most surprising to me, was just how much there is to learn about fabric itself, let alone any sewing techniques, anything else. Just the fabric alone is something that you could spend years trying to learn about and still not know everything. So when I first started out, I was mostly doing quilting type projects, quilts, bags. So I really started out using quilting cottons. And I think the first place I ordered fabric from was actually fabric.com. And I take that back, I did order some MiKri, which I didn't realize how hard it would be to sew with, but I figured it out. And I had made a baby blanket for a coworker made out of MiKri. And that's actually one of my least favorite fabrics to work with now, just because it sheds so much. It's stretchy, so, it's kind of hard. You have to use so many pins. But that's the thing, when you're new to it, you don't know which fabrics are going to be easier to work with and which ones are going to be more challenging. So you kind of just go into it blindly and start ordering stuff online or going to Joann Fabrics. Oh, we also had gone to Joann Fabrics and we had checked out the remnants section. So James and I went, and believe it or not, he actually does like shopping for fabric, which is an amazing quality in a husband, I think. All right, and we've got another comment from Rara. Haha, I once made a coat out of upholstery fabric. Looked great, but not very comfortable. Oh boy. Yes, that is something that I think we've all got those projects that we made with the type of fabric that we shouldn't have, but we did it anyways because we didn't know any better. And I think if that's you, that's totally okay, because you have to learn. And sewing is a learning process. In fact, I just made a dress that I learned all kinds of things about. It looked like a pretty simple project, but there were things that I definitely want to change for next time. I'm pretty bad about sometimes making muslins, although that fabric I actually got a really great deal on. So if you can get a great deal on certain fabrics, they may be totally cute and you can use those as wearable muslins. I made a previous video about using sheets as fabric, which I do all the time. And that's one way where you can make a wearable muslin, but also make it out of fabric that you can actually wear it. Like if you make a shirt and it's made out of a sheet, you can wear that around. No one's gonna know. I do, believe me. So there are so many different types of fabric, and I think it's really hard especially when you're starting out, to know what's what. I believe Craftsy, their blog is actually pretty good for explaining different things in a way that's easy to understand for beginners. So I would definitely recommend checking out the Craftsy blog. There's also a few posts on like pre-washing fabric, like how you need to care for different fabrics like rayon or voile or quilting cotton. I have had hit or miss luck with using various lines of quilting cottons for garments. So it's definitely an experimentation process, and one that you can have fun with, and also don't take it too seriously. If your project doesn't turn out, or if you make it and it looks cute but it doesn't wash well, that's okay, because you did learn something in the process, and I think that's what's important. So I started out with quilting cottons, and then over time I got to know different substrates. I had ordered canvas, or I ordered like double knit, or rayon, and I've got some cotton lawn fabric. So I've amassed over a long period of time many different types of fabric. So I would, for the people who are like, you really need to go to physical stores to buy all your fabric, I think that's more true at the beginning of your sewing and fabric journey than as you get more advanced. When you're starting out, I do think it is a good idea to go to some fabric stores and really see what's there. You know, touch it, get to know it. I found that there's different manufacturers of fabrics that I like more for various applications. For instance, art gallery fabrics, their quilting cottons are very, very luxurious feeling, but they are a little bit thinner. So there are certain applications that I would use that fabric for that I might not use like cotton and steel for, and vice versa. So, but it's sort of like shopping for clothing. Like once you know your size and a brand, you know what to order from then on. And I think that's true of fabric. Once you know the line, once you know the consistency and what you've had success with making with it, then I feel you're at the point where you can really do most of your shopping online, and you're not going to get too many surprises. I would have to say, out of all of the fabric I've ordered, maybe only 5% have I been really surprised with, or i.e. unhappy. And actually, I believe in my closet I've got some fabric samples. I may try to grab those real quick, but so I'll show you some of the fabric I bought. This is obviously cotton and steel. It's a very popular line now, and they're known for their fun prints, awesome colors, and also their prints really go well together. So for someone who's, maybe you're not the best at color coordination or matching prints, most of the cotton and steel prints are going to go well together and really coordinate well. So if that's not your thing, coordinating fabric, cotton and steel is a great line that you can really do a lot of things with and not have to worry too much if you are not the best at matching colors. Tula Pink, this line, this is also quilting cotton. This is her new collection of, it's called Tabby Road. And she also has another one coming out that looks cool. It's called Spirit Animal. I know there was a little bit of controversy over her Indian headdress print, but she also has another print that looks adorable. It's otters, and I'm a real big sucker for animal prints. And I will say I saw the otter print and I'm kind of in love with it. So that may be in the future. All right, so Bats and Peaches, so glad I caught this. Hello from Florida. Hello, I love Florida. Actually, James and I both really love Florida. I think Florida is James's favorite state, and it's pretty high up there for me too. It's warm. We lived in Tampa for 5 years, and my mom actually lives in Sarasota. So I'm jealous you're there right now. And again, if you're watching, feel free to leave a comment or question. I am watching them, so I know I'm not stalking you or anything, but I can see what you're doing. Okay, Linda says, hi from Montana. It is snowing right now. Oh my gosh. Linda, I am sorry. Hopefully you don't have to shovel the driveway. I feel you though. I'm from Buffalo, so we grew up with lots of snow blowing, lots of shoveling out your car, and you definitely need a good snow brush for your car, which is something I don't miss living in Atlanta, although the traffic here really sucks. So there's upsides and downsides to living every place, for sure. And I'm sure everyone has heard about the great debacle on I-85. That is going to be interesting. Luckily, I don't really live anywhere close to there and don't have to take 85 very often, if at all. So personally, it won't affect me, but I know that it's going to cause a lot of problems for the metro Atlanta area. So yeah, so Atlantans, we're all in this together. Let's stay calm. Let's stay calm. Linda says, when you buy fabric online, do you have a rule of thumb for the amount you buy if you don't have a project in mind? That's a really good question, and I actually do for the most part. So here's my general rules. If it's a quilting cotton print that I just think is cute, I usually get a yard of it. If it is a fabric that I think I'm going to make a garment with it, I usually get at least 3 yards if it's like a 44-inch width. If it's 60 inches, I'll usually get 2 because I tend to overbuy on, I tend to overestimate what I need. So I have lots of, especially knit fabrics that I got that were 60 inches wide that I got like 3 yards of. And the project I was making, you only needed like 1.5 yards. So I have half of it left. So in a way that's good because you can have extras for another project. But I also am trying to get a little more frugal with just buying things for a specific project. And I really am trying not to buy as much fabric as I have in the past because especially with the quilting cotton, I seriously have so much with it. I could sew with this quilting cotton for the next 5 years and probably still have stuff left, especially if I keep sewing at the rate I'm going, which is not very fast. So that is my general rule. But with one caveat, I do get a lot of my apparel fabrics from fabric.com, and I do want to let you know about this. They have a lot of sales on fabric.com. They also have something called buy more and save. So if you buy a specific amount of yardage, you get a much better price. This fabric here, this is by a company called like Telio Fashions. It sounds Italian. I could be totally wrong, but I made this recently for that Megan dress from the Tilly and the Buttons book. And I think it was, I forgot what the original price was, but it was like $8 a yard if you got like 1 yard or something. But if you bought 3 or more yards, I think it was like $5.97 a yard. So this is one case where I was like, you know what, it's a lot cheaper if I buy 3 yards, so I'll just go ahead and buy 3 yards. And I've noticed fabric.com does that with a lot of their fabrics. So if you are especially making apparel, definitely look for the buy more and save. Usually they denote all the items that have that in the little description. And I think you can actually filter that out as in searching, so you can only look at the buy more and save fabrics. But I think that's actually one of fabric.com. I think that's actually one of the best things about shopping at fabric.com is that buy more and save. And I've noticed it's on a lot of the apparel fabrics, and it's also on quite a few of the quilting cottons. But usually you have to either buy like 3 or 4 yards of it to start getting that deal. But the savings is significant. Like, they're not just giving you 10% off, they're giving you like 30 or 40% off if you just buy a little bit more. So I usually try to do the math, and if it does become worth it for me, like I have a lot of this left, so I'm thinking I might make like a top or something out of this, or you know, something. I'm not really sure, but I can definitely, like, if I see the fabric and I can definitely find a use for it, I'm gonna go ahead and do that buy more and save deal. I think I also got that the dress that, again, you cannot see it, but I did post a photo of it on Instagram if you're interested in checking it out at Sewing Report. It's from the Cotton and Steel Raindrops collection, and it's a gray fabric, and it's got like pink geometric diamonds on it, which are very cool. And if you flip it the other way, it's teardrops. And I think I got that as a buy more and save, and it ended up being $6 a yard. So I ended up using about 2 yards for the dress. So the dress materials only cost like $12. And I think that's a pretty good price. That dress is going to be more of a wearable muslin. But again, you can really find some great deals on fabric.com with the buy more and save stuff. They also have a lot of fabric in stock. And I've noticed with fabric.com, if they run out of fabric, I bought 2 yards of fabric recently in a Jennifer Paganelli print, and they didn't have 2 continuous yards, so they sent me 2 individual yards, but they only charged me for 1. So I thought that was kind of cool of them, because I basically did get 2 yards of fabric and got it for half the price. And I've noticed too, if you get, a lot of times I'll get end of bolt special, like if I buy the last 2 yards, it'll have a little bit extra because you got the end of the bolt, which is great. All right, we got a couple more comments. Anitra says, hey Jen, I have a fabric habit. I can say it's much easier to purchase quilting cotton online versus apparel fabric. I'm very intimidated by apparel fabric. And that is another good point. It is a lot easier to purchase quilting cotton, although I've noticed there's a pretty big difference between different quilting cotton makers. Certain quilting cottons I found are not great for apparel. The ones I found to be the best for apparel, and actually I'm pretty excited to work with this Me and You fabric. It's a division of Robert Hoffman Fabrics, and I love their modern batiks because there's it's not printed, it's actually dyed, so both sides are going to have the print on it. And I'm curious to try to make a garment out of that. I've noticed Andover fabrics and Freespirit fabrics are pretty decent for making clothing. I will say I have not had as much luck with Robert Kaufman fabrics and garment making. I had some issues a while back where I bought some Carolyn Freelander prints and I was going to make a dress out of that, but when I sewed through it, the dye just kind of came off. And to their credit, their customer service was great. I contacted them and they actually replaced my purchase with any fabric of Robert Kaufman that I wanted. And they had me send back a sample just so they could test to see what went wrong with that dye lot. So I will say all of the companies I've dealt with in the sewing and fabric and quilting world, they've all been really great with customer service if you reach out to them and let them know you had a problem with it. So I have not had any really even negative experiences, not even with Joann Fabric. One time I ordered from Joann Fabrics and I got, I was ordering, this was when I was first starting out, and really I was a little bit cheap at the beginning. I do think it pays to get better quality fabric, especially if you're spending a lot of time making a garment or making a quilt. If you're using cheap materials, your efforts might be wasted. If it's something you don't care about, you know, whatever. But if you're gonna try to make an heirloom dress or make like a prom dress for somebody or something nice like a wedding dress, I do think it is definitely worth it to use quality materials because the item will last longer. And also, you know, I've noticed when I'm working with some cheaper materials, you do get what you pay for. All right, so Rara says, okay, Bats and Peaches says, Rara says you could make yourself kind of a chart by looking at patterns and writing down the amount you would need in your size for different kind of garments. That is a good tip. Bats and Peaches says, I keep a book in my purse for when I go to a fabric store. I can keep my patterns and my needs in mind that way. And Bats and Peaches says, I hate getting the wrong amount. If it's expensive, I definitely want to make sure that I have exactly the right amount. And that is so true. And Bats and Peaches and Rara, that's why I do tend to overbuy, is because I don't want to run short. And I did find that when I had ordered those 2 yards from fabric.com that were individual, I did not have enough to make the project. I'm trying to make it work. You'll see what I mean when hopefully I do this video later. But that is definitely a real concern, is buying either way too much or buying not enough. But yeah, definitely for sourcing, fabric.com, the buy more and save deals, they are really great. And I actually haven't had too many duds from fabric.com. Sometimes though, I've noticed if you are looking at a fabric and the price is super cheap, that might be indicative of the quality. So definitely keep that in mind. If it says it's only like $3 a yard, there's probably a reason for that. And I will say, I have an example of this. This faux leather, it's like pleather. So I ordered this from fabric.com. I think this is 2 yards. And I ordered pleather from moodfabrics.com and it was a lot more expensive than this. But the quality difference between the Mood Fabrics pleather and the fabric.com pleather that I got for like $6 a yard, it's huge. This was one of the few purchases where buying online did not pay off, but normally for me, I've been pretty happy with shopping online. This faux leather pleather is just, it's very thin and it's kind of see-through. My original purpose was to maybe try to make a like blazer, like sort of a jacket out of it. But I think this is way too thin and I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with this now. So this is one of the and again, this really doesn't happen to me very often, and I'm sure I can still find some sort of use for this. But this is like sort of stretchy faux leather, and this is one of the few purchases where I've been like, Yeah, this was not what I expected. But again, it was it was very cheap, and that should have been my warning signal that maybe it was a little too good to be true. Um, so I wanted to show you that just as an example of one of the times that purchasing online didn't work out. But in my personal experience, once I got to know and learn more about different fabrics, I knew what I was looking for. And one other place that I've gotten some amazing deals is Craftsy. So Craftsy, actually that's probably one of the other first places that I started buying fabric from. Craftsy has some awesome sales all the time on very popular manufacturers of fabric. Cotton and Steel, Robert Kaufman, Freespirit. Their apparel fabric is more on the limited side, but I've noticed they've started, oh, excuse me. I've noticed that Craftsy has really started stocking more garment fabrics, which is very cool. And one thing that I love about Craftsy.com is the kits. They're an amazing deal. You can get a pattern, usually it's a paper pattern for making like a shirt or dress, and I have like 7 or 8 of those kits, and they've all been really good and amazing prices. Like their sales, like I got a kit, you know, for making like say like a shirt, and I got like 2.5 yards of fabric. It was like cotton wool. I got the paper pattern, and the whole kit was like $14. I don't even think I could have bought just the fabric alone for $14, but you also got the paper pattern added in. So that's another place where I think you can get great deals, and also they send you the perfect amount of fabric for the project, and there's a little bit extra. I've never been short or even close to being short on one of those Craftsy kits. So I've noticed they have been very generous in the fabric cuts, because I think they want to make sure that whoever's getting it allow a little bit of error for mistakes or whatnot. But Craftsy has a lot of sales on yardage and also like pre-cut fabrics, but it's like 3 or 4 yards. So these are 2 Robert Kaufman chambrays I bought. I forgot how much they were, but it was like crazy on sale. So I was like, I need to go for it. So I think I got 3. I believe I got 3 yards. It was under $20 for this cut. And usually you can pick the fabric, and then you can either pick like 1, 2, 3, or a 4-yard cut. And the price of this thing is great. Usually they're like $5 a yard. So I got 2 of these, and this is an indigo chambray, and then this is it's like a pin dot. So both of these are 3-yard cuts, and I swear they were definitely under $20, probably closer to like 16. And you can get some fantastic deals on I've noticed they're great for fat quarter bundles or pre-cuts for quilting cotton. And I've noticed they've really been kicking up the apparel fabric. So if you haven't checked it out, I would definitely jump on there and just see what they've got. Make sure to search for sewing though, and not just quilting, because the apparel fabrics won't come up if you just click on the quilting section. And their garment kits, they also have kits for making bags. They're all great, and the prices are really fantastic. I think they've got $4.99 flat rate shipping, and then free shipping on any orders of $99 or more. I personally like paper patterns, so I love those kits. The fact that they come with the pattern, and they come with enough fabric for it, and just ship directly to you. They've got great prices on notions. So I have been getting a lot of items from Craftsy.com. All right, we got a couple more comments. Bats and Peaches says, I started out buying super cheap fabric from Walmart, and I ended up making a skirt and a pair of shorts that can stand up on their own. Oh, that's awesome. Bats and Peaches, you know what though? At least they're very stable fabrics. How did they launder it? Because I have clothing from Walmart that's just utterly ridiculously poorly made. And I've got a couple t-shirts from Walmart, and they just totally fell apart. Even the difference between Walmart and Target clothing is like huge. And Target, their prices aren't even that much different than Walmart's. So I don't know. I'm not buying clothing this year, but I've noticed there's a huge difference between Target and Walmart quality for textiles. All right, Rara says, imagining what a fabric will look like as a garment is definitely not my strength. And Rara, that takes time. Don't, take it one step at a time. And once you work with different fabrics, you're gonna start developing sort of a sense of what you like, what you don't like, and also how fabrics behave. I'm definitely not an expert, but I'm getting better. So yeah, so I've got a lot of these, you know, and I buy my fabric. With quilting cotton, I'm normally looking for a specific line. So I'm not usually browsing for quilting cotton. I'm specifically looking for cotton and steel Mustangs. Or I got all my Tula pink fabric from like an Etsy shop, and I was specifically looking for Tula pink Tabby Road. And Etsy is a great place for shopping for specific lines. I've noticed sometimes the price isn't always the cheapest, but I've noticed that, especially if you're looking for a print that may be harder to find out of print, or it's so popular. I've noticed certain prints on fabric.com are just super popular and they just sell out like that. So if I'm looking for a specific line and I need something, I typically will turn to Etsy and just start searching. Or if I'm looking for, say, like, cat print, or I was actually looking to see if there was any corgi dog print the other day. I don't know, because I'm silly. But you can get a lot of great deals on Etsy. Also, I've noticed some shops will go out of business, or they'll have a good sale on a certain line. So I would say it's important to get to know different fabric makes, different designers, and there are certain designers that will speak to you. Like two of my favorite fabric designers are Carolyn Friedlander and Jennifer Sampu. They both make kind of gender neutral prints that are just gorgeous but very elegant and sophisticated, and I pretty much like anything that those two designers put out. And again, I've actually recently picked up a Jennifer Paganelli print. That was the one from fabric.com that came in 2 separate yards, but this is a Carolyn Friedlander print. I just freaking love pretty much everything she does. I'm also a fan of some of Alison Glass's prints. I don't absolutely love every single thing she puts out, but I love her sun print collection. That's actually one of my favorites. So I am a big fangirl of several quilting designers, and of course cotton and steel. I don't know how anyone could hate cotton and steel. But I have to say, for the apparel fabric, I think Robert Kaufman has really been putting out some very classy and very kind of hipster, but sort of like, a very, very neutral and very cool apparel fabrics in different substrates. Like they've got denim, they've got the chambray. I'm going to go to my closet real quick because I also have some really cool herringbone flannel. That was a Robert Kaufman pre-cut. Let me go grab that real quick. All right, Bats and Peaches says, the fabric laundered pretty stiffly, but I figured once I made the skirt and shorts, I could wear them soft, but I swear this stuff is impervious to wear. You know what? Maybe, Bats and Peaches, maybe you should recommend that to the military as some sort of protective gear. If it is that sturdy, that may be a good application. Rara says, I've been sewing for 20 years. That is a long time. But that's the thing about sewing, is that you can make it as easy or as difficult as you want it. And there's always something new to learn. And that's what I really like about it, is that, I could do this for the next 50 years and still not know even close to everything that's out there. But yeah, so fabrics, there's so much. And again, I feel like someone will talk to me and they'll be like, oh, I saw these cute fabrics at, at Walmart or something, or can you take my old clothes? And I gotta be honest with you, I personally, and I think it's totally cool to thrift and to try to find ways to reuse things. But my personal preference does tend to be towards using new material. But again, there's something for everyone, and everybody's different. So some people really like taking things that already exist and remaking them. My talent is not really in that area at this point. So I prefer to I do tend to mostly buy new fabrics and try to either create something of my own or use some sort of pattern. But let me find that flannel real quick, and I'll bring out some more stuff here. So happy Sunday to everybody. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the live edition of the Sewing Report, and we are talking everything fabrics. And I'm just gonna bring out pretty much every fabric I own, just to, I guess, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's happening. Oh, and there's actually a couple more sites I wanted to tell you about, really great deals. All right, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to grab that flannel. Okay. All right. Wow, I'm gonna have a lot to clean up after this, but you know what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay. Oh, and if you're a fan of Liberty of London, Craftsy.com occasionally stocks it and has really good deals. Okay, so this is, and I've already pre-washed it. This is a really cool, and again, I know it's spring now, so I think my time has passed, but I really am digging this Robert Kaufman herringbone flannel. It comes in several different colors, and they're so rich. Like, they have it in red, although it was sold out on Craftsy.com. But I think I got this for about $6 a yard, and it's just really fuzzy, warm, soft fabric. I did notice after laundering it, it got a little bit linty, so I did have to take a lint roller and really go over that. But I really love this. I really just love the consistency and the feel of this. And I do want to add, another place to get good deals is Fat Quarter Shop. So Fat Quarter Shop, it is mostly quilting cottons, but every day they have a flash sale at, I think it's at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central Time. And they have a really great deal on either one particular thing, or it could be a line. So occasionally you'll see a line of fabric that's like 50% off, but it's only for one day, and when it sells out, it sells out. But I check there a couple times a week just to see what they offer. And they also have something called Pre-Cuts of the Week. So I picked this up in a Pre-Cuts of the Week sale. It's a, this is Riley Blake fabric, and it's a set of solid fat quarters. And during the Pre-Cuts sale, this was 30% off. So Fat Quarter Shop does have some really good intermittent sales. Around Christmas time, the deals were pretty good. Sometimes the stuff they have on sale isn't always up my alley. And I noticed they don't tend to put a lot of their modern prints in the flash sale. On Tuesdays, Fat Quarter Shop has 2 flash sales. They've got one at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I think the other one is at 11, or maybe it's, they have 2. But you'll have to check the website. I think one's in the morning and one's at night. This is actually a Liberty print I got from fabric.com, and I'm not joking, this was part of the buy more and save deal. So I got 3 yards of this. This was expensive, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know what I'm doing with it yet, but I bought 3 yards of this. It's beautiful, and then I got this matching cotton and steel, I think this is called, it's called like Sea Glass or Supreme Sea or something. But I had seen some inspiration on a blog where they made a baby onesie or baby romper out of this and some lace trim. So I bought all 3. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm probably going to make more something for me because there are no babies in this house. But this was originally, I think this was like $35 a yard or $40 a yard or something. And if you bought 3 yards or more, you got it for $25 a yard. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. And then I got this other Liberty print. This is a Liberty, I think both of these are lawns. So this is a Liberty Tana lawn, and I got, oh, how much is this? So I got 3 yards for $60. And Liberty of London, they are on the pricier side. So $20 a yard for a Liberty print is apparently pretty good. So I picked this up, man, 2 years ago, and I still haven't done anything with it. This is why I don't need any more fabric, friends. I do not need any more. Okay. Oh, greatest sewing disasters live stream. Oh, I've got, you know, that's a good idea. I've got plenty of sewing disasters. So maybe we could talk about that, and then we could all, okay, did they take back the fabric? Okay, So Marie asks, did they take back the fabric they sent in 2 separate yards? Marie, I actually didn't return them. I actually kept them, but they only charged me for 1 yard, which I thought was cool of them. And in my personal experience, anytime a company has messed up or, I haven't been happy with it, they've been really cool about the customer service. So I have not personally had any really bad experiences, not even with like the big ones like Joann's. One time I ordered some like real cheap fabric and it came complete with the shoe print on it. And they sent me a package to return it. I returned it and they refunded my money. So I thought that was cool. So I really haven't had any problems with, if I have had an issue with something, the company's been really responsive. One time I forgot what company this was. I think it was like, it might have been Hawthorne Threads or something like that. I ordered one Anna Maria Horner print and I got a totally different one. They not only sent the right fabric, but they told me to keep the other fabric. And I mean, that makes sense because the cost of shipping it back to them wouldn't make sense, to get back like a yard or 2 yards of fabric. So I've noticed that fabric companies have been very responsive to me when you just reach out and let them know you had a problem. So I will say this is this nylon chiffon. I don't know why I ordered 10 yards of it. In my head, I was going to make some sort of poofy skirt with it. This fabric, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to work with it yet. This is one case where I like it, but when I got it, I'm not really sure how it looked. This does not look like it's going to be very fun to work with. So this is a case of me just not taking out of the bag and not really doing with it. And I have several of these purchases where I bought stuff and I just didn't really have anything in mind. I was like, in my head, loosely, I'm like, oh, I can make a really cool like tulle type skirt. But then when I get it and the reality sets in of working with the fabric, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So there's that. So yeah, we got this Robert Kaufman flannel, and actually, all right, we're starting to get a bit of an avalanche situation here. And this is probably maybe this is probably about 10% of my fabric stash. So it is getting a little bit out of control. And this is exactly why I am not going to be really buying more fabric this year. I'm hoping this is about it for me. All right, Fabric Store blew my mind. Did you watch the latest Q2 Han video? I don't know who Q2 Han is. Is that like a K-pop star or something? All right, and Rara, I do like your suggestion about doing a Greatest Sewing Disasters live. I'm thinking next Sunday though. I think the live stream next Sunday is going to be showing you all of the purses I've made. Some of them are pretty terrible, so that would definitely count as a sewing disaster. The twins, they do sewing stuff. I'm gonna have to check that. I will have to look after this is over. Actually, you know what? I've got a computer here. I can Google it right now. And again, I don't claim to be the hippest person alive. Q2 Han. Okay, what is Q2 Han? Okay. Oh, okay, so they're twins? Okay. Interesting. This is the first I've heard of him, but thank you for letting me know what other Koreans are out there, because clearly I don't know. Okay, so Double Trouble DIY enthusiasts from Seoul. Wow, they are they definitely look like K-pop stars. And I will say, on a side note, I am totally fascinated by Korean culture and K-pop. I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and I'm adopted by Caucasian parents. So I really don't know as much as I should about Korean culture at all. People ask me if I speak Korean or, about culture, and I honestly don't have a lot of those answers. So it can be a little embarrassing for me when people ask me about Asia, because I really don't know. All right, someone else that did a collaboration video with them. Okay, well, that sounds interesting. All right, do the live shows usually start at the same time each week? Linda, that is a good question. I am trying to do the live streams every Sunday around 3 p.m. Some weeks they may be a couple minutes late, but only because sometimes I have trouble with, I do these all on an iPod, and I'm trying to figure out, we're going to try to experiment and actually use the computer webcam instead because it might be better quality. But every week I'm going to try to do some sort of live stream around 3 p.m. Eastern time, just talking about random stuff. This week it's fabric. Next week I'm thinking it's going to be about making purses. Talk about how I got into it, and also show the progress from like one of the very first purses to, you know, a more you know, once I got better. Because I feel like people see, especially for, you know, people with Instagram, people will see other people's projects, and I think they're a little intimidated and they don't think they can do it. If that is you, you definitely can. You just have to work at it. Every project is going to be a little bit better, and especially with the purses and the clothing, you know, I see myself improving from my first garment to now, and purses are a lot of fun to make. They're really cool, and also, and I'm going to show you this. It's actually some vinyl I have. So I've got a few of these rolls, and they're all really cool. It's called, this is called like glitter mirror vinyl canvas. And I get this off a website called MiKri's World, MiKri. And after this is over, I'll link to some of the stuff down below, because I didn't, and that was bad because James was using the computer to try to do some Instagram stuff. So I didn't get a chance to do the description box as much as I'd like. But I've started using this stuff in purses, and it is really fun to sew with. It's not, you know, it's pretty thin, but it's like sturdy. You can, I believe, you can wash this, you can launder this on like cold, but I wouldn't put this in the dryer really. But this is really fun. It's sparkly, and it just really looks cool when you're adding them to a purse. One of my favorite purse designers is called Swoon Patterns, and I find that the patterns are very easy to understand, and also the results you get look pretty professional. So I have this in several colors, and it's just really fun to work with. They come in rolls. Also, SewSweetness.com has started selling the same material. So you can either, and I think she has wider rolls. These are like 12-inch rolls. And I think Sarah from Sew Sweetness is starting to sell 18-inch rolls. So these are really fun to make handbags with or other little accessories with. I want to make some like zipper pouches out of this just because I think it's fun. But they come in a lot of really cool colors. They also have like a really neat like shimmery champagne and like a shimmery gold. So I really like this stuff, and I want to try to incorporate this more into my sewing just because it's really fun material. And I just love it. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of anything sparkly. So there's that. And this is actually another one of my Craftsy purchases. This is crepe teal. I got a 2-yard cut, and I believe this is just polyester, so you don't actually have to pre-wash it, which is nice. But I need to start using some of this garment fabric that I've been buying because it's just starting to pile up and get a little crazy. Maybe I can convince James to try to sew some stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, so Annika Victoria went to the Napoli Fabric District in Japan. It blew my mind. It is a bad video to watch if you don't want fabric envy. All right, Bats and Peaches. I may skip that one then, because I'm really trying to be good. All right, Marie says, I've never bought fabric online because so far I've only done pillowcases. Now I want to start sewing clothing, and I'm thinking about mood. And okay, so Anitra says my stepmom is Korean. And you know what? I do think Mood is a great place to buy fabrics. They are they're a little pricier than like Fabric.com, Craftsy, or Joann's. But I've noticed on Mood fabrics, you can get designer fabrics. Like you can get Calvin Klein suit fabric or Oscar de la Renta fabric. Oh, I'll show you this. I did get some Oscar de la Renta wool, but I haven't done anything with it like most of my fabrics. So all of the Mood fabric comes in these really cute little bags. And then I actually got, I think this is like a double cloth wool or something. I'm still trying to figure out. I think I need to take this to a dry cleaner and get it steamed to kind of pre-shrink it. I want to say this was $24.99 a yard. I forgot. I think I bought 3 yards of it, but I'm still not really sure exactly what I'm going to do with it. I was going to make a coat with it, but I'm still... I need to make a coat first, and I also think with the coat, I want to make some sort of wearable muslin, because this was really expensive fabric, and I don't want to mess it up. So yeah, so Mood Fabrics is great, but just know that they are a little bit more of a premium price. They do have sales, but also you're getting a really good designer quality fabric. They have like Theory fabric. I've seen Michael Kors fabric. I've seen lots of like really big name designers that sell their own fabric on Mood Fabrics. So I think that's one of the benefits of getting designer fabrics is that you are making, you're really getting into like couture level there. I'm not there yet. That's why I haven't cut into that stuff. And that's where I got that pleather fabric from Mood Fabrics. But to be safer, I'm trying to cut in, and I think this is 2 yards of crepe, and I think this was under $10 for the 2 yards. So Craftsy.com, if you haven't checked out Craftsy for apparel fabric, I definitely would. They have some really cute fabrics. And I also have gotten a lot of knit fabrics from Craftsy. And I've really gotten to know the different knit substrates pretty well too. Like I know jersey knit is, now I know that jersey knit's gonna be a bit on the thinner side. Interlock or double knit is obviously thicker. The double knit's pretty spongy feeling. And Robert Kaufman, I actually recently tried out their knit fabric, and I'm a fan. It was really easy to work with. It didn't have a ton of stretch. And I've also noticed that Freespirit fabrics, I like their knits a lot. Art Gallery Fabrics has a jersey knit. They're good. They're fun to work with, and they have fun prints. It is a little trickier because it's a little thinner, so you do have to be careful. And actually, right after I jump off this live stream, James is going to help me film. I'm going to do a video on serger tips. It's not going to be a full-on tutorial, but I'm just going to try to share some things that I've learned about the serger I'm using that make my life a little bit easier, and also things that I tend to forget and then make mistakes on. So that's going to be a future video. So we've got some fun stuff coming up, but I'm hoping every Sunday to be able to just talk about whatever, whatever topics that may be affecting us in the sewing community. And also how, kind of more about the thought process for shopping for fabric is. But I really enjoy talking to all of you guys. Yeah, so Marie says, they do say take all wool to the dry cleaners. And I think I am going to do that with that wool just because I don't want it to shrink. All right, wow, we've got a lot of chatting in here. Vinyl Galaxy Spark is great. I use the gold one. Yeah, the gold is beautiful. Okay, we've got wool or fleece needs to be steamed first to see how much it will shrink. German fabric stores will still mostly look like 20 years ago. They don't cater to young, hip. And Rara, that's a good point, and that's one reason why I haven't really been able to find a lot of good fabric stores here in Atlanta. Definitely not the quilt shops. They don't cater to the modern aesthetic. There is a place that I've heard good things about here called Gale K Fabrics. I'm thinking about checking that out in the near future, maybe the next time I'm on vacation, and I might try to do a vlog there if they're cool with that. So I may actually venture into a fabric store at some point soon, but I would say over the past year, 100% of my fabric purchases have all been online. I don't really think I bought any fabric from a store in the past year, because I just mostly shop online. And even if I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna get, especially with fabric.com, I'm willing to take the chance, especially if the fabric is only like $3 a yard. When I made that dog video, the Little Red Dress project, and I dressed up that Bulldog Bandit, I made her a custom couture outfit, and I bought all of that fabric from fabric.com. It was very, very inexpensive. And actually I was pleasantly surprised with it. I thought for $3 a yard, I thought it would be really like hokey looking, but it actually looked decent. So I was actually, again, I'd only spent I think I spent about $10 on the fabric, And there's even a lot that I didn't use, like I got a yard of taffeta that I never used. So there's a lot of fabrics that you can get that if the price is very low, I'm willing to chance it and see what I get, especially if that means I don't have to leave my house. If you can't tell, I don't really like leaving my house a lot. I like staying home. We don't really go out a lot, so we're mostly here. And that's just how we roll. So I like buying online. It's very convenient, and also it allows me to really shop for prices, and then I know there's a much bigger selection. Sometimes when you go to like a fabric store, you could look around for an hour and they won't have what you're looking for. But with online shopping, you can usually find something that will fit your needs by looking around a little bit more. Okay, so if your store is not business, German items will come with extra tax on the border. Okay, well, that doesn't sound like fun. Linda says, I like to feel the fabric and see the drape. And Linda, I'm with you on some parts of that. I think that it's, especially if you don't know, if you're not familiar with a certain fabric, it is good to see it in person. But I think once you know what you're looking for and once you know how different fabrics feel and behave, I think I personally feel pretty comfortable buying online and being happy with the purchase. And actually some fabrics like this one, I really didn't know what this would be like at all, and I think it's actually looks better than I expected. And for the price, I was definitely willing to try it and see what it was like. All right, Anisha says, I hate to leave the house as well. Linda, yes, and I want to bunch it up and see how badly it wrinkles. That is a good point. Okay, wow, we got quite a few comments here, so thank you guys for joining me. I wasn't sure. I could be here alone for all I know and just talking to myself. But you guys are all here, so this is making it a lot more fun. And if you guys have if there's a website that I have, and two ladies that you need to follow. And again, after this is over, I will put their blogs in the description box. Two ladies you need to follow for their amazing fabric curation is Emily Hallman and Allie Jackson. And actually that wool I bought, the pink wool, that's actually one that Allie used on making a coat. So those are two ladies that I've been following that I just love all of their fabric selections, and I've gotten a lot of inspiration. Allie recently made some really cute dresses out of eyelet fabric from fabric.com, and they're just so adorable. So those are two ladies that if you're looking for inspiration on what kind of fabrics to use or what's out there, those are two people that you definitely need to check out because they have amazing fabric tastes. And Emily, she also recently shared that she buys a lot of her fabrics from something called Fashion Fabrics Club. She said it can be kind of hit or miss, and you do need to really look around and look for deals. But she's gotten some really cute fabrics from there that I am very envious of. And she also shops, I think she got some really cute lemon fabric from there. And another one she recommended is Promenade Fabrics. I think they're based out of New Orleans. The prices are a little bit higher, but the fabrics are gorgeous. So those are two places that Emily's introduced me to that I didn't previously know about. And I'd heard about Mood Fabrics, actually from Allie Jackson's blog. So I believe their websites are Emily Hallman, I think emilyhallman.com, and then alliemjackson.com, Allie, A-L-L-I-E. And they're both on Instagram. You should totally follow them. It's at Emily Hallman Designs, and then at Hello Allie, A-L-L-I-E-J. Both of them make gorgeous, gorgeous outfits, and I definitely look to them for a lot of inspiration. And they also have great information on sourcing fabric. So those are two ladies you should definitely check out if you're not familiar with them. Okay, we got some more comments. Rara says, okay, it helps to pay close attention to store-bought garments and really check out the kind of fabrics used and how they behave. Really good tip, and I totally agree. And once you start sewing, you also start to notice more the quality of the textiles. Like I'll be at Target and I'll see like a tablecloth or like napkins, and I'll be like, wow, that feels really rough. Or especially their throw pillows. Like, Target charges like $30 for a pillow, and the fabric quality is sometimes not that great. You feel it and you're like, ugh. And also, I hate the fabric that everything sticks to it. So you'll see like some random throw pillows at Target and it already has like a bunch of lint stuck to it and you're like, that is not for me. All right, Champagne Twist says, I haven't been fabric shopping in France for ages. Oh, that sounds like fun. But I'm always amazed at the choice and reasonable prices too. The chocolate isn't bad either. Oh. All right, now I'm hungry. Champagne Twist, why did you do that to me? That was cruel. That was very cruel. And Anitra says, sometimes the investment is worth it when it comes to fabric. Okay, all right, Champagne Twist recommends Modes, MODES, for the number U.com, and that's you, just the letter. Isn't too bad for fabrics. Has anyone tried that company? I have not, but I will have to check that out after this is over. Ewa says, I live in UK and countryside, and good places are Dunham Boys and some online places, but it is not so many English these days don't so much are shocked when I say I make this pillowcase or thermal cover. Is this video frozen for anyone else? Bats and Peaches, I hope not. That is sad, and I'm sorry. Oh no. And Champagne Twist, I know. Why did you have to bring up chocolate? I'm starving. And I haven't eaten anything sweet in probably about a week. Wait, I take that back. I did have a coworker's piece of birthday cake. That was the last time I had anything legitimately sweet, besides soda. All right, Raris is fine here. Okay, so Bats and Peaches, I am sorry if the live stream is frozen. Oh, well, that stinks. Oh, and thank you guys for giving me the thumbs up. If you did enjoy this video, throw me some love. Feel free to hit that thumbs up, smash that thumbs up, and if you are not a subscriber and you don't mind this incessant rambling and you like sewing videos, you're welcome to subscribe to the Sewing Report. I have been pretty good about uploading a video every week on Thursday. And then again, this is sort of a new thing, but I have access to YouTube's mobile live feature now. So I'm going to do my best to do some sort of live stream every Sunday around 3 p.m. Eastern time. I should probably advertise it a little bit more. But at the same time, I wasn't sure I wanted to go all in on that if I couldn't be consistent. But this has been 3 weeks in a row. So 3 or 4 weeks in a row. So I think I'm doing okay so far. And I've been kind of feeling under the weather. So there may be 1 or 2 weeks where I don't, depending on what's happening. But for the most part, I would really like to do this. I think this has been a lot of fun for me. And the pink stuff has to go. Wait, are you talking about this stuff, Linda? I'm not really sure. Yeah, this was I think this stuff was really cheap. I think this was like, I want to say this was like $20 for 10 yards of this. And I don't know. This stuff, like, I thought it was cute, and I actually do like this color. But sewing with this looks a little difficult, and I'm not sure if this will fray. Does anyone know if nylon, chiffon, tricot will fray? I have no idea. And I think that's what scared me, is that I didn't know if this needed to be hemmed or not, or if this is like a knit fabric that just doesn't fray. I have no idea. All right, yes, looks like prom dress fabric. Linda, yeah, and the color online looked a lot more hot pink. This is definitely more of a bubblegum pink. And it's definitely like sheer. I think this would be kind of cute, maybe for like a skirt that looked like cotton candy. I hope I could pull that off. I don't know. It might not be something I wear in public, but something I just make as just to try to make it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a princess dress for Halloween. Linda, yeah, maybe I could go as like a bubble or something. I don't know. If you haven't seen, and I did make I have a similar fabric, but it's just purple tulle. And I did use that to make a loofah sponge Halloween costume. There is a video for that as well, back further in the Sewing Report archives, if you want to look at that. I didn't actually sew anything. I actually just took a t-shirt like this and safety pinned the tulle on me all in one big piece to make it look like a loofah sponge. So I guess you could do something like that with it. And then when I was done, all I had to do was unpin the safety pins, and I could still use the tulle for another project, which was definitely the goal. All right, let's read some more comments. Oh, Kiddish Behavior says, hi, hello. And Kittenish Behavior, I need to check out your sewing space tour. That looks like fun. Kittenish Behavior is another YouTube channel. I think she shares my same weird sense of humor, and she loves cats. So definitely check her out because she makes some real fun videos. And also, she's a much better seamstress than me. So she's a lot more advanced in, like, especially the fit issues. I'm definitely more of an advanced beginner. All right, we've got, all right, Linda, Princess Dress, Bats and Peaches, chocolate and fabric shopping in Paris. Y'all, the biggest city close to me is fabric in Panama City, and I have to mud wrestle an alligator just to get in the store. 99% of the fabric is camo. Bats and Peaches, I think you need to do a vlog about your fabric shopping experience in Panama City. Mud wrestling with an alligator, that might be, you might have a viral video on your hands if you do that. I think you should do it. All right, Rara, combine it with the fake red leather. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this. Yeah, this is very thin. And I also thought it was interesting that this came on a huge roll. Obviously, they didn't want to fold this. I guess I could use this as like a home defense weapon or something in case someone breaks in. I could just be like, yeah, you know, I don't know. Or if I'm practicing for like those American Gladiator style competitions, that I suppose could work. So there could be other, oh, and you know what, if I was doing like the wrestling or American Gladiator, maybe this could be the costume, you know, this definitely, I would say this definitely resembles cosplay fabric, like if you're making like a Spider-Man costume or something. So yeah, that is like one of my lone, what was I thinking, fabric purchases. In my mind, I was going to use this as a practice garment because I have this pattern for like this really cool zippered like pleather or leather jacket pattern. So my initial thought was that I was going to use that to practice on, but the texture of this is just so different than the fabric that I was going to do it with. And I never even started the project. So that's how scatterbrained I am. So yeah, I'm sure everyone does that. I've got like 20 patterns in there that I have like 4 jacket or coat patterns. I'm like, who am I kidding, Jen? You're not gonna even get started on any of these. So I've got them. I definitely don't need any more sewing patterns. I'm good for now because I'm not gonna even get to what I have. All right, I have our video queued up to watch after this. Yes, and I would say I'm looking forward to seeing the sewing space tour. So Kittenish Behavior says, that's definitely accurate, Jennifer. Well, until you got to the seamstress bit. I'm totally making it up as you go. You are definitely not. Your dresses fit you so well. And I'm always like, how did they get that awesome fit? Obviously, we all have different body types, but Kittenish Behavior, you always look, you look like a total babe in all of your videos with like the cute sundresses and the adorable vintage, you know, patterns. So I'm officially jealous. All right. Ewa says, check traditional Polish cheesecake Sernik recipe. Oh, that sounds good. Okay. And Rare says, around here you only have to wrestle grumpy older saleswomen. I'm not sure which is worse. Oh, ouch. What if the salespeople had to wrestle with the alligator? Would that be a fun time? It could be sort of like Celebrity Deathmatch. Champagne Twist says you could make a cosplay outfit with the pink stuff. Super Barbie battles alligators with one hand and stitches up a dress with the other. That would actually be really fun. I would enjoy that. I don't really wrestle a lot, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not in the best physical shape. I might be able to wrestle my cat, but that might be the extent of it. I don't know. So we would have to see. But this has been a lot of fun. I don't even know. Wow. Oh my gosh, it's 4:26 already. We've been talking for a really long time. But I might wrap this up in a little bit because we are trying to tape another video, and I think James might need to use some of this stuff at some point. All right, have a wild imagine. Kittenish Behavior says, I'm vicariously shopping through you now as I have way too much fabric and patterns, and I put myself on ban. Yes, I'm also on a ban. So maybe we could just show each other our fabric, and then you won't need to buy it, maybe? I'm loving the look of the blue stuff in the bag in front of you now. Oh, is it this stuff? This, All right, kittenish behavior. This was less than $10 on Craftsy.com. And I don't know if they still have it, but they have a lot of similar fabrics. And they're like, the prices are crazy good. Ewa says, I have a wild imagination. I need to close the windows. I laugh so wild. All right, kittenish behavior says, no, don't tell me. Yeah, I know, it's very dangerous. And here's what I think contributes to the problem. And I was explaining this to someone is, part of the reason, especially with quilting cottons and designer fabrics, part of the reason you feel like you need to buy it is because it doesn't stay in print forever. Like this Tula pink line might only be in print for like, a year or so, and then it goes away. So there's definitely this perceived scarcity in the quilting and sewing world that this won't be available forever. James is here, everybody. Hey! James is over here. He's getting ready to help me.
Hi, YouTube.
Hello. He's still recovering from the panty sewing video. So he's here, and we're just hanging out. He's going to help me film. And in fact, James has started making his own videos. If you'd like to check out his channel, he's doing 1 minute or less video podcasts Monday through Friday. And he's on Instagram. His Instagram is @voiceoverjames. I think they're kind of funny, and it's sort of, it's definitely a little bit of a taste of what life is like at home with James. He's very entertaining, and he does a lot of different voices. So they're fun videos, and he's going to try to do something daily about random topics. He does steal some of my sewing stuff, and I did mention it. I think I reposted something on Instagram. And he also has, we have another channel called More Approved, and James is actually a chef, and he's going to be starting to do some cooking and baking videos with some tips from a real chef. So if you're interested in checking that out and you like food but you want some help, oh, I think that thing just fell. You're welcome to check out our other channel. It's More Approved. There's also some fun videos with the two of us. So we're trying to make some more videos. Oh, James he's taking that away from me. I guess I'm not. I guess I cannot be trusted with that. So, but I think we're going to sign off for today. Okay, Linda says, tell him to make something with chocolate. Can you do that?
We could do truffles.
All right, Linda, James says we could do some truffles.
Hazelnut truffles. There you
hazelnut truffles. And Joanne says, loving the pink Tula cat one. Yes, this, I'm not usually, I respect Tula Pink as a designer, but up until the cat fabric, nothing has really caught my eye so much. So I did pre-order a bunch of this. I think we're going to make some purses out of it. I think that's going to happen. So Linda says she can't wait. Yeah, Champagne Twist says she would like some chocolate truffles as well. So James, and he doesn't even have that much of a sweet tooth, but he will do it. So he did make a recipe. He did make a video on making espresso. And then he made a couple videos about how to make your own homemade dough recipe. He has a dough recipe that you can make like anything with. You can make pizza with it. You can make pretzel buns or breadsticks. So his next video is going to be showing his dough recipe. It's super easy, and he actually it's very versatile. So you can use that dough recipe and do pretty much anything with it. So that's definitely coming up. And James actually might make a couple sewing videos in the future for Sewing Report. All right, he sews underwear and makes truffles. He's a keeper. Thanks for brightening up a great day. Guys, I will see you all later, next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And after this is over, we'll definitely be linking up some more of the stuff that I've mentioned in this video. So have a great Sunday, everybody.